Hello and welcome to this Voxeurop Live on Game Over for Viktor Orbán, What's Next for Hungary and Europe. It's in partnership with the Pulse Project, a European collaborative network we are very proud partners of. And we're thanking you all for joining. We'd like to very warmly thank our Voxeurop donors and shareholders for their support, which enables us to keep hosting that kind of events and keep translating and publishing quality journalism throughout investigations, great cartoons, and last but not least, remained independent.
After 16 years of uninterrupted rule, the party of Viktor Orbán was swept from power following the April 12 parliamentary election in Hungary. The Tisza, meaning Respect and Freedom Party, led by Péter Magyar, a pro-European conservative, achieved a two-thirds majority. Orbán's defeat was greeted with relief in Hungary and across Europe. What is at stake today?
So we are very pleased to welcome our two guests, Boróka, Parászka, and György. Boróka, you're a journalist and opinion editor at HVG. Your main areas of interest are health, social politics, minority rights, and conflict zones. And György, you're a journalist at HVG as well, co-founder of Eurologos, and an online news website focusing on EU affairs and a long-time partner of Voxeurop.
Can you briefly explain how, especially, was Viktor Orbán defeated? What are the principal reasons that led to his defeat after 16 years in power?
I mean, honestly, the main factor is Hungarians are not that sensitive to democracy and rule of law. So the main factor, I think, was here general disappointment about the performance of the government and the skyrocketing corruption and nepotism that led to, and paired with an astonishingly high level of political arrogance in communication. They together led to this gigantic, never unseen participation in the elections and this huge two-third majority for Tisza, which is also historically never before in Hungary. But the main factors are economics and cost of living crisis in Hungary, skyrocketing property prices, lack of proper possibilities in the job market. There's no euro in Hungary. Inflation was for several years 10 to 20, above 10%, several years after COVID. So all these together created this momentous where this spring the Hungarian society said 16 years was more than enough of this.
Maybe the way of communication of the latest Orbán government, which was very aggressive, very manipulated, very stressful. And as we see now, the whole society was so filled with this kind of aggression and manipulation. So I guess it was also a key element. We learned something essential about the role of journalism, the role of media, and the way the people are so hungry to see fact-checked information, to be informed. The number of the media consumers has skyrocketed in the last months. We saw at the HVG as well, we had gained a lot of readers in the last months of the campaign. So there is a hunger of information, and the whole Hungarian society became so rational media consumers. So they paid for newspapers, they made a lot of donation for the small media groups. So they sustained this kind of revolution of media and this kind of struggle for the democracy, the Hungarian democracy. It was really a kind of feast of media, the free media in Hungary. It was really, really nice to live it, to feel the strong relation between audience and media.
Both of you believe that a real political and moral reset is possible in Hungarian politics, and can the endemic corruption that the Orbán's regime has set up in Hungary be completely dismantled? And if so, what would it take? I mean, a 5-year term, is it enough for Magyar to do so?
It's a 4-year
term?
A lot can be achieved in 4 years. But for example, the introduction of the euro is not feasible in 4 years, but it has to start tomorrow, today, yesterday, and has to be delivered in about 6 years, I think, realistically speaking. But things can be also done fast, like joining the European Prosecutor's Office. That's one of the flagship moves of the government now. First of all, bringing back this standard policy-making, democratic debate-based and then expert-based inputs that are completely, they vanished entirely. I mean, there was no public discourse about proposed acts. Sometimes 27 different amendments in one act were put into a so-called salad law, and we call it saláta törvény in Hungarian, and then things are messed up systematically, regularly, and pushed through the parliament overnight without decent public consultation. And this became not the exception. This was all over the place for 16 years. This should also stop. This also means that the Hungarian public sphere, civil society, expert groups, NGOs, anyone had little to zero say in when the government was preparing any regulation or any acts or laws.
I guess the whole Hungarian society is aware that we have to be very patient and in the same time very, very direct to reorganize on national level, on regional level, local level, everything. So the whole democratic system of the country has to be rebuilt, not restarted or not rethink, rebuild from the zero, or I guess from the negative sphere.
What kind of obstacles could arise in the restoration of the rule of law?
First of all, the time question. So there has to be released new legal framework very soon. And there is a lot of hidden political conflicts. The Tisza party is a large and very new party. There is no left in the Hungarian parliament. It's a right-wing government, but a huge part of the voters of Tisza are the members of the former left parties. So I don't know. I guess that a lot of conflicts will come as the new parliament starts the legislation, and maybe this is the main obstacle, this kind of hidden, unseen field of conflicts on the level of the society.
We have a question from Robin from Belfast, which I'll ask now. What will happen now to the pro-Orbán media in the hands of his favoured oligarch? Will they change their tune or oppose Magyar's action in power?
It's already on the way. The collapse is unavoidable. I mean, imagine a structure where tens of millions of euros were just in one strain, but many, many strains channeled in from state money, sometimes not even advertisement money. But first of all, what you should understand that most of the money they use to feed the government media was coming from a system where the state companies and state organizations were giving. I mean, they were just channeling in their advertisement money into the pro-government media. This meant the National Lotto, the National Oil Company, and zillions of other examples, which massively led to a distortion of the Hungarian media system. And this is stopped now. So already the last 2 weeks, dozens of publishers announced letting of people, or there were these hubs of the propaganda machine that immediately after the elections were firing tens and hundreds, sometimes hundreds of people, because they know that there won't be any money in 2 weeks for them, and they want to keep probably the 5 people management on some money for a while, and the rest is gone. If we unplug them, this completely biased financing from the system, they will not be able to live from the market. This is the most smart guess we can answer to Robin's question.
Although I put my bet that the Fidesz will try to reorganize the party and to keep one small part of the Fidesz media alive, as we see right now. Much more smaller. Yeah. So Viktor Orbán is not giving up, as I see now.
Yeah, but you should know that it was a daily routine that the so-called megaphone influencers were spending on Facebook on their posts and videos that were completely bollocks. Tens of millions of forints, so let's say hundreds of thousands of euros every year on each influencer's Facebook channel or Facebook page to promote their content. And this is how they circumvented the fact that no political advertisements can be financed within the EU since last September.
It was very important. It was a very important turning point.
The same goes for how do you call them, the digitalis, what is that, the digitalis, I always forget them in Hungarian, digitális polgári körök. So
digital civil circles, civil groups,
citizens groups. Yeah, they do go, sorry, Boróka.
Orbán tried to find another way to gain space in digital sphere, but I guess there is a very important learning period for the whole European community, how to handle this kind of digital propaganda. The first lesson was what we learned during the Romanian elections in 2024, when a huge network of TikTok accounts has a very important effect on the result of Romanian election. And after that, Orbán regime tried to repeat that kind of propaganda on the level of digital networks. And as I saw, it was very important that the Tisza party has gained a separate, a very effective way to fight against this. They were very active on the digital level and in the real offline sphere of Hungarian political life. And this kind of two-dimensional political presence of Tisza party and Péter Magyar was the most important way to gain voters, new voters, to turn the whole Fidesz election groups and to reach for example, the small villages, small cities in Hungary. So it was very, very interesting how this kind of digital and non-digital political communication renewed in the last couple of months of Hungarian campaign.
It's quite important to underline that besides the fact that until now, the last 16 years, the opposition was unable to show up in one single fraction so that they can be voted as a single one entity. But it's also important to underline that Tisza did tremendous footwork in the last 2 years in its campaign to going to all the small villages and all the small settlements and everybody reaching out to as many people as possible in Hungary. And this is what really brought them this gigantic success at the elections. So they really did the footwork and did go to the citizens.
The online sphere has to be controlled legally, democratically, to keep free, and it cannot be only online communication. We have renewed connection with the people.
Looks like Péter Magyar has a lot on his table to work on, and not the least the economy. Hungarian economy is one of the least growing within the EU, so it's not really.
There is no growing.
And what will his Péter Magyar's first priorities be in the economics, and what kind of economic program is he going to implement?
They actually have a real program. Let's underline this. I mean, a party program. But the main corners are, of course, trying to make everything to get the funds flowing from Brussels, RRF money, so the COVID recovery and resilience fund. use, which is on extremely short notice, but because they have to move before September 2026 to not to lose the money. Of course, I think should be also a political decision by the Commission to be more flexible on this. But they want to unlock the Erasmus money. They want to unlock research and development funds, other cohesion funds money, and infrastructural development funds. These are their Brussels priorities, but seemingly they now have to struggle first with, maybe we didn't discuss this yet, but it's quite important that Hungary is under the Orbán regime's semi-autocratic or tried to be autocratic rule, was ruled by decree for the last 5 years, since COVID, even 6 now, almost 6, which means push through legislation, even with less, if possible, even less public consultation, even less vigilance from the criticisms and MPs. It resulted in, I think, over 150 legislations that are now part of, they are now under this rule by decree passed. And because of this, they cannot, if they unplug this rule by decree, which they of course want to, because this is not a democracy if you operate like this, and then it also would result that these 152 and over 150 regulations would be losing their legal grounds, and that would cause chaos in many things. So therefore, there's a transitionary period now until the end of May, I understand, where they want to supercharge the legislative processes and make sure that these are those of these 150 regulations that have to be kept or somehow have to be maintained. They can do that legally and on a decent legal basis before they go back to normal governance. Basically, this is just to explain for the audience. This means that Hungary was in this wartime ruled by decree situation where the government had a green card to do whatever they wanted because they had to defend the country. And at first it was based on the COVID argument. I mean, that the COVID requires this. And then it was, what was it then after? The war, no? The
Ukrainian war.
Talking of which, what will be the relationships now with Hungary's neighbours? How is it going to change, and starting with Ukraine?
We have to start with the fact that there is a very interesting and important new foreign minister, Viktor Orbán, who is a very well-known expert of the Central European region. And she stated that she will start with a new connection with Poland. For example, a new cooperation, a new Central European cooperation. It is very important how the so-called V4 group will restart the collaborative relation. It's a big question what will happen with Slovakia and Serbia, because Orbán has a very strong alliance with Robert Fico and Alexander Vucic. Very probable it will change, and Péter Magyar will keep distance towards these Russia-baked countries. And after Poland, it's a big question what will happen with Romania, which is in a big governmental crisis right now. And as you know, in Bulgaria, also a new Russian-friendly government has won the election last Sunday. So very probably Hungary will become a good friend of Russia in another position, a strong defender against Russia, beside of Poland and Romania. This is what I saw right now, and these are the key elements what I hope that will emerge, but I don't know what will the few months will bring us, but these will be the strategic points of Hungarian foreign policy.
You touch upon Russia, Boróka. We know that Viktor Orbán was Vladimir Putin's best ally within the EU, to the point that he was considered as his kind of mole within the European Council, or better, his foreign minister, György. What will be his take on Russia, especially on the energy side and also within the Foreign Council and the European foreign policy?
What is very clear that Péter Magyar has a very strong relation with the western part of Europe, and he and his government is a strongly pro-European government. The main motto was shooting on the streets of Budapest, Russians go home, which is a motto of the revolution back to 1956, historical saying of the revolutionary people on Hungarian streets, and this motto came back. So, which is clear that Péter Magyar is not open to continue this good alliance policy with Vladimir Putin. But also, it's a huge problem that there is a deep anti-Ukrainian sentiment in Hungarian society, fueled by the Orbánian propaganda in last couple of years. And I don't know how this can be changed. How can the government of Péter Magyar say that since now we want to try to cooperate with Ukraine and with a Ukrainian-friendly European Union? I don't know. Really, it's a huge problem.
Thanks everybody for attending and participating in this live event, and thank you so much, Boróka and György, for being with us today. Many thanks again also to our supporters and shareholders who make this kind of event possible. Don't forget to subscribe to our weekly newsletter if you haven't already. It's free, and follow us on social networks. And if you can, please consider donating to support our work.